It's a real pleasure to have Bill Wilson here at any time. And some of you recall a few months back, we sat down with Bill and talked about his work in general, how he came to be involved in New York City and the terrific ministry that he is involved in there and leading the world's largest Sunday school. But there is another dimension to Bill Wilson, and it has to do with an international role as not only a model maker that others are replicating, but also as a much sought after consultant and motivator and inspiration. And Bill, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to have you.
Always good to be here.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Always.
It's a pleasure.
I told you last time I enjoy being with you because you ask good questions. I'm on TV so much and it becomes a bit redundant. And the last time you and I were together, we had some great questions. Yeah. And thank you. Thank you for being interested and really caring about what I do.
Well, it's an honor. It really is. Now, let's talk about... First of all, you've got this terrific work going on. You got about 50,000 kids coming to Sunday school.
50,000 a week is kind of our average. It is, as you said, the world's largest Sunday school, but growing all the time. Yeah. Interesting.
And then you do a Christmas event every year with over 100,000 kids receiving a gift.
Right.
And the impact of your ministry is worldwide. We talked last time about how you got from Florida to Phoenix to New York City. Mm-hmm. Now I want to know, how are you getting from New York City to the world? Yeah. Tell me about that journey.
And I think, and if I can, I think I need to put in a plug for Christian TV here. Yeah. Because really it is because of television, programs like this, people like you that expose the viewers to ministries like Metro Ministries. How would people know about me and what's going on with the kids around the world? But that has a far-reaching effect, because there will be people in Latin America, people in Europe, people in Asia, Middle East, that see a program like this, and it tweaks their attention. So they'll go to metroministries.org, or they'll get the book, Whose Child Is This?, or several of the other books that I've written, and they'll go, man, if this guy can do this to this extent in New York City, we need to get him to come to our city, to our country. That's why last year, I was invited by the Vice President of Kenya, sat down with him in Parliament there in Nairobi, and he says, how can the government of Nairobi partner with Metro Ministries to reach the kids of our nation? Because you and I both know a nation will be judged by how it treats its children. And I asked the Vice President, I said, Your Excellency, how will your nation be judged? And he said, at this point, not well. And I think that's why more and more the political systems of so many of these nations are saying, how can you, Bill Wilson, Metro Ministries, work with us, train us, challenge us, motivate us, develop our people, at least bring a consciousness to our nation. And so that's the exciting point of where we are now. This year, I will be going to Pakistan, meeting with leaders in Karachi, and then going outside of Karachi and dealing with the Taliban. Now, you know how that's going to go. But these are the doors that are being opened to us, and it's an exciting time.
Now, Bill, it seems to me you're facing a bit of more than a bit of a challenge. This is a huge challenge in my view. You started from scratch.
Yes, sir. Literally.
Yeah, literally from scratch. I mean, you were living on the street yourself.
Right.
And the Lord incrementally grew you to the point where you are today. But your passion has been unbridled. The fact you're still driving a bus yourself, the fact that you are hands-on yourself, it's indicator of your passion. And when you pick up a little kid, you're picking up yourself. I understand all of that. But here's my question. You go to Kenya, you go to Pakistan, you're dealing with politicians.
Yes.
These guys aren't motivated by passion generally. They're motivated by power.
That's right.
And they're looking for some kind of a shortcut or a quick fix or a program from Bill Wilson. How does the program work if the passion's not there?
Because what the political spectrum does, it opens the door for guys like me to find out who the liars are and who the buyers are. But once you can get a politician who they may not be able to help you, but they could hurt you. It was the same way in New York, because New York State, as you know, is such a left-wing political entity. It's a little animal all by itself. And I wish, because people have asked how or what, maybe not how, but what would you have done differently going to New York now that you've been there for 30 years? I would have been more intricately involved in the political system, because the political system has such a stronghold on everything. But so it is in these foreign countries. So if I can work with the politicians to open the door and get their proverbial stamp of approval, then that gives me the open door to get into churches, to get into the educational system, to get into more of the sociological structure of the country, that by myself, that door would not have been opened.
So the
does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. The politician is a gatekeeper. I understand.
That's all it is.
I understand that totally. But it seems to me the greater challenge, once the gate has been opened, is to find the champions.
Sure. But you've got to kiss a lot of frogs to find the prince.
Yeah.
Why do you think I look like this? This is 42 years, my brother, of kissing frogs.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. And some folks step up and they'll do what they say they're going to do. Yeah. Some folks won't. But quite honestly, I mean, out of the 150 full-time staff that I have in New York City, I mean, it has taken me 30 years to find the team, the Cracker Jack team that I have in New York. Because remember, I went there by myself 30 years ago. Yeah. I know nobody goes to New York City by themselves without some kind of a denominational background or financial backing. I went there by myself because I got sick and tired of people in North America saying those kids are hopeless. Yeah. And I was in a meeting in New York where an educational person stepped up and said, they're hopeless. And I almost slapped the guy. You know, because sometimes you just got to slap people. Yeah, yeah. You know, you have to do it in Jesus' name, because you got to try to make it spiritual. But sometimes some people just need to be slapped. Yeah. And I said, no, they're not hopeless. They just don't have any hope. Right. That's the key. Jesus brings the hope into what would appear to be a hopeless situation. I didn't know how it would work in the ghetto. It worked in the suburbs in Florida. It worked in the suburbs in Iowa. It worked in the suburbs in Phoenix. It's worked in the suburbs that I've done leadership seminars around the United States and in Canada. As most of the folks know, we have our charity is located in Saskatoon. But will it work in the hardcore ghetto? Well, but if it's a principle, see, biblical principles know no boundaries. They know no structure. And so now, of course, that's why it is being duplicated